Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today's session of ours belongs to the summary and a short synopsis of Twilight in Dehli. Here we will go into the storyline, the string, the main plot of this novel to see what the writer has conveyed through this story to us. Later on, in other in our later discussions, we will discuss, inshallah, in detail the critical questions related to your exams and other requirements of yours. I do have a request to you all people that please take down certain important points out of these lectures, out of these sessions of yours. You are senior guys and you can have a go with your pens and pencils at home. Kindly go through these sessions at least twice, as some of the material, although it is not the end of the world, but it has been arranged and organized in an examination manner, you may say, with a view to going through your examination. Let's go ahead and see what the summary of this novel says. Dear students, Ahmad Ali's first novel, Twilight in Dehli, is reasonably interesting. A sort of awkwardly written Dehli-based Brooks by Thomas Mann. Brooks is a novel by Thomas Mann, the German novelist, about a Moorish family, and it expands even to the decline of that family to the fourth generation, although Ali has limited his novel to only the decline of two generations. But this Brooks by Thomas Mann, as the comparison has been made in this very first opening sentence of the introduction, has a very long detail, the Brooks, of a family, Moorish family's decline, deterioration, cultural deterioration. As history and cultural record, though it is fascinating from historical point of view and cultural point of view, it is also fascinating description. Originally published in Britain in 1940, Twilight concerns the upper class Muslim merchant Mir Nihal and his extended family. Mir Nihal and his wife were young children during the 1857 mutiny. They say mutiny, and we call it War of Independence, as you know very well. And the resultant brutality on both sides, the English and the locals. Now, in 1911, in which era the story has been set, two of their sons, Mir Nihal and his wife's sons, work in government offices, and the third one wears English shirt, the Asgar, namely Mr. Asgar, and shoes, outfits, English outfit that you may say, a sure sign of Dehli's imminent demise, according to Mir Nihal's view. Even the present crops of anti-British activists in shape of rallies, campaigns on the roads and streets all over India are beyond Mir Nihal's ken. He was one of those who had believed in fighting with naked swords in their hands. The young only agitated. The young of today has got no real spirit of fighting against the oppressors. Rather, they callously agitate on streets and in bazaars. Mir Nihal's intense nationalism often seems historical or rhetorical in retrospect. He is surely a nationalist, has got a very nationalistic approach to life, his culture, sticks to his culture, values, norms, values them very much Hindu feeling ran just as strongly against Muslim occupiers once the hated English left. The real residual power of the Mughal Golden Age is not political. The surviving descendants of Bahadur Shah Zafar are all beggars and cripples, just struggling to survive on the outskirts of Delhi and anywhere else. But cultural, and Ali's book is first and foremost a tender record of traditional family ceremonies, of kite battles, and the old aristocratic body of pigeon flying. The smaller details, the cries of the pigeon flyers are the obeisant, accompanying Ali's portrayal of the parallel decline of Mir Nihal's family and of Mughal Delhi. Both the family of Mir Nihal and the Mughal culture are dying down. Many things are dying down. The older traditions are dying down. The old norms are dying down. The new norms and new values are born out of the ashes of the old ones. The new and the younger generation has got no respect for the past values, and this is the dilemma of this miss of our main character Mir Nihal. As we have already noted in our Urdu summary of this novel, Twilight in Delhi is based on a plot of love. Surely, basically, it has the mainstream story, or the storyline is based on a plot that is the plot of love between a feudal family's son named Asghar and a comparatively lower family's daughter Bilqis. Mir Nihal, as the head of a feudal Muslim family, is struggling to protect the new generation from the disastrous effects of colonialization and colonialism on their culture. On the other hand, he himself is indulged in frivolous activities as a member of a feudal family. And Asghar, the youngest and the rebel son of Mir Nihal, tries to go against the norms of his family. He gets married with his beloved and starts living in a foreign style lifestyle. His nature of flirting causes the death of his wife. At the end, his rebellious nature, deplorable situation of his family, and a few other similar incidents break Mir Nihal's courage, and he falls ill. Bitter economic situations, sense of British slavery, and death of his elder son paralyze Mir Nihal, and at the end he seems helplessly moping like an owl, lying in his bed, disease-ridden, paralyzed, no movement, nothing else, just seeing in one direction all the time. Dear students, as we have briefly noted that this novel is basically knit around the love story of two young people who go against the wishes of their culture, the wishes of their society, the wishes of the norms of their families, etc. In this novel, Ali, an Urdu-speaking native of India, commemorated the daily melody of traditional life in the old city of Delhi, among the lost, impoverished heirs to the refined Mughal civilization that dominated India under the occupation of the British. Impoverished heirs, ज़बरदस्ती गरीब कर दिए गए जो वारिसीन हैं, वो रिफाइंड मुग़ल सिविलाइजेशन के अंदर से निकले, लेकिन अब वो इंतहाई गरीबाना ज़िंदगी गुजारने पर मजबूर हैं. Set during the early years of this century, it recaptures the texture of family life for Mir Nihal, a well-born Muslim who loves pigeons and whose son wants to get married. It recounts how that son Asghar falls in love, married, fell out of love, had a daughter and became a widower again. At the end, Ali's Proustian command of detail makes this archetypically human story sing. When, for instance, cats manage to kill Mir Nihal's pigeons, Ali makes us feel a visceral sense of his loss, a very primitive sense of loss, that is, and of his impending doom. At Book's end, Mir Nihal lies bedridden after a stroke, as we have seen. Asghar is widowed, and the English have torn down Delhi's ancient walls and are building a new Delhi that will swamp the old. A perfect novel, the more valuable for its unique subject, as John Scheffler has described. There was a hint in between. Prussian Marcel Proust was a French novelist and author who had a very good command of details. But apart from his command over describing details of stories, he was also deficient in making his sentences very complex, very, very complex. It was rather a deficiency in his writing. Longer and very complex sentences he wrote. Marcel Proust. Dear students, the opening concluding remarks of this section have been taken from the previous session of yours. Let's have a look at the lower paragraph. This book is especially poignant and moving for all subcontinentals, as it tells of how much the British occupation actually did to destroy Indo-Muslim heritage and culture. हम सब जो बड़े सगीर पाक व हिंद की नस्ल से हैं, हम सब के लिए ये बड़ी दिलचस्प तहरीर है कि किस तरह ब्रिटिश इम्पीरियलिज़म ने यहाँ तबाही मचाई और किस तरह यहाँ इंडो मुस्लिम जो हमारी सकाफ़त वरासत थी उसे तबाह किया. Will be of interest to all those who want to know what real Islamic culture was like and the effect of imperialism on it. तो हमारी इस्लामी रूह क्या थी और इसके असरात क्या मुरतब हुए. Ahmad Ali's poignant storyline acts as a prelude to the social events to follow that would change the city and its people forever. It allows us to go back in time and be a part of old Delhi, now existent. Yaad Mazi Azab Hai Yarab. The introduction, written much later, of this novel, after its publication rather, is a confusing blend of history of the city and author's post-independence experience in the book. Dear students, this was a very brief survey, review, synopsis, or you may call it a summary, very short summary of the whole of the novel. From the next session, we will, inshallah, go into the critical phase of this novel, discussing different aspects of this novel. Any questions from your side, if you think it proper, appropriate, please convey through your CR to me, and they will be, inshallah, made part of our discussions. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating in this session of ours. Till the next session, it's Allah Hafiz.